Hardik Scored, and this is my review for the TTP GMAT course. Starting off with my background, I completed my bachelor's in management studies in the year 2021 from University of Mumbai. Having done that, I decided to pursue a career in B2B SaaS content management, and I decided to pursue that career in a couple of startups, SaaS startups, for 2 years. And recently, in around in July, I decided to leave my latest job, and subsequently, I decided to also pursue my master's. Having realized that I would need a good GMAT score for masters, I decided to also purchase TTP then, since I read good reviews for TTP on Reddit and a lot of other forums. So yeah, here we are. I have officially given my GMAT. I've gotten a fairly good score, 710, in a span of 3 months. And yeah, I'm quite happy with it. I think it should get me into some good colleges that I want to get into, and degrees that I really want to get into and explore further. This review is completely based around what TTP did to help me achieve my score, and how fondly I would recommend TTP to other people. I'll start off talking about the mocks, because I think a lot of people, while they're preparing for GMAT, they really need to assess where they stand before having started preparation. So usually people do take up at least one mock before starting to prepare for GMAT. And I know that is a norm, but I did not personally do that. I was of the opinion that GMAT official mocks are fairly few, and I needed to preserve those and give them after I finish my preparation for a better clarity as to where I stand. Obviously, not many people share the same mindset, but I sort of went ahead with that, and I did not give a first fresh mock before preparation, and I straight up bought TTP. So yeah, I think having said that, that still sort of helped me achieve my final score of 710. So if that is your goal, if achieving a score of 710 and above is your goal, I think any one of those mindsets can work out. And I think it completely depends on where you stand in your preparation. I started off my GMAT preparation in the month of July. As when the July month started, I bought TTP, the trial course. And before TTP, I looked at the GMAT curriculum a bit, and I solved a few problems a couple of years ago, but that was very temporary, and I did not really decide to pursue or give GMAT back then. So I would say I was fairly new to GMAT, and I was fairly new to the concepts of GMAT, and I hadn't really done anything before TTP. This was my first GMAT, fortunately, and I do not. I fortunately don't need to give my GMAT again. But yeah, TTP. I started out pursuing TTP in the month of July. While researching on Reddit, I think I was researching through a lot of different forums, and deciding while I was deciding to pursue which course I want to do. And I came across a couple of courses, but I think TTP really stood out because I saw that it helped people achieve their desired score in quants, especially in quants. And I think it was very important for me to brush up my quants, because it had been a long time since I did maths. And coming from a non-engineering background, I think maths was math. I really needed to sort of revise those concepts and get back into the game again. So yeah, I think that was the primary reason why I decided to pursue TTP. The other reason was also because I saw that many people were talking about how extensive or how detailed the course is, wherein it had a lot of tests, and it really hammered your concept in, and that was something that is essentially something that I wanted, and hence I decided to purchase TTP. I decided to purchase a trial in the month of July, and I ended up using it for exactly 3 months. I think in the month of September, in the end of September, I completed the course essentially, and with all the verbal and quant sections done. And yeah, I think I used the TTP course for around 3 months. That was the span of my preparation. So basically, yeah. So now I'll just jump on to how TTP helped me during my preparation, and what sort of how it was really beneficial for me to achieve my desired score. So I did not really go in with a desired score of 710. I just wanted to achieve something above 700, because in a lot of colleges that I'll be applying for, I think a 700 score is a pretty average score, and I don't think it should be a problem while applying. So that was the mindset that I had. And while I purchased TTP, I realized that a lot of the courses were really, really intensive. They were really detailed, and at the same time, they had a lot of different tests to hammer the concepts in. I remember coming across the number systems chapter, and I remember it having around 30 to 40 different tests just to hammer the same concepts in again and again. And back then, I used to think it was sort of an overkill strategy. But now I realize how important it was to sort of really hammer those concepts in and really make me understand each and everything to the core. And yeah, I couldn't be more glad to have completed all those different tests, and I am glad I did not skip any of them. And I would recommend the same for everyone else doing the preparation via TTP, that if you have ample time and if you are able to prioritize accordingly, I would recommend not skipping your tests and doing all the tests completely and thoroughly, even though it might take you a lot of time to solve some sums. But I think it's better to sort of start untimed. And I know this is coming from a perspective wherein GMAT requires you to be very mindful of how you spend your time solving each and every sum. But I think in the beginning of your preparation, especially when you're not as comfortable with quants or verbal as you want to be, I think it's very important that to really imbibe those concepts, you are solving a lot of sums untimed and really honing in the concepts and really understanding the differences between certain types of sums that come across GMAT. So I think that was the basis of how TTP helped. I would say Quants and CR were particularly helpful because they they were first of all really detailed, like I already mentioned. But at the same time, I think the way TTP goes around explaining certain concepts is really intuitive, wherein I wasn't really, feeling the need to consult any other resource for a concept that I did not understand at TTP. TTP made sure that I understood each and every concept to the core, and it made sure that everything was then and there for my availability and for my usage. And I did not need to go on another YouTube video to figure out how to solve a particular sum or how to understand a particular concept, which was really amazing. And I think that worked out well for verbal as well in terms of CR and even sentence correction. So in terms of the aspects of TTP course, which like made a difference in my preparation, I would say that primarily I think tests were the main difference, the main aspects of my TTP preparation course, which helped me a lot. It really sort of helped me understand how my accuracy stood and how well I was doing in what amount of time. The second aspect was also the analytics aspect of TTP. So it has this entire dashboard wherein I could understood how many sums I solved till that point of time, and how many of those did I get correct, and what time did I spend solving, what average time did I spend solving all those different questions. It also sort of kept me on the edge, wherein if I was caught lacking on some day, it would show on my GMAT dashboard, and it would tell me that I missed this day, and therefore I have completed less hours of preparation in this particular week, and that I think would force me to uh, try hard for the next week, and try to complete more chapters in the next week. This is not to say that I think you should rush to the TTP course, but I had to rush through it because I had a difficult deadline to gauge. And yeah, I think in order to do that, I had only 3 months, and hence I had to really rush to the course because I knew how intensive and how detailed the course was, and I did not I did not intend to skip any of the tests. So yeah, I had to really run through it, and I think the analytics and the accuracy dashboard really helped me understand how well I was doing in what span of time. So that was pretty helpful. I think that sort of basically explains my entire journey through TTP. I would say that it really sort of helps you understand what your particular strengths and weaknesses are. And not only that, but it doesn't allow you to sacrifice your weaknesses. It actually gives you ample opportunities to focus on your weaknesses, strengthen them, and subsequently make them your strengths as well. So I think that's the best part of TTP, and I would absolutely recommend it to everyone who's pursuing GMAT, who's deciding to give me GMAT. Any personal advice I would like to give is basically, I think since GMAT focus is also on the horizon, and I think the current GMAT is not going to be accepted in the further years, and I think it's going to end in the month of January. I think it's important that people utilize the GMAT focus section of TTP as well as they can, because it is going to be the next big thing in GMAT. And secondly, I've heard a lot of good things about GMAT focus through a lot of my friends on Reddit. And yeah, I think it really makes sense to use TTP for GMAT preparation. I think it's one of the best resources out there, and I would absolutely recommend it to everyone. Yeah, I think that's about it for this review. If I had any personal advice about GMAT exam, I would say this is something that I realized during the end days of my preparation. I would say you should do some, if you have an issue with nerves, if you have an issue with exam anxiety like I did, it's better that you approach your mocks with as little anxiety, as little nerves as you can, because they do really affect your score. And I remember giving my first mock after completing TTP, and it wasn't the result that I expected. I got a 650, and this was after I completed my TTP course, and that was pretty shocking for me. But then having given another mock subsequently and receiving a 730 on that, I realized that how important nerves are, how important managing your anxiety is during the exam. And seeing that timing on the GMAT exam dashboard really puts you in a very different mindset, and it can make or break a person. I would advise that while doing your mocks, do them really sincerely and don't take any breaks. Make sure that you're abiding by the time, and make sure that you're solving each and every sum in the given time allotted. If you're not able to do that, I'd suggest going back to TTP or any course that you're doing, and try focus on the concepts again, and try to do those same sums in the say in the limited amount of time, and then do the further mocks. So yeah, I think those were some of the things that helped me achieve my desired score. And yeah, I think TTP is an amazing course, and I would absolutely recommend it for everyone. So yeah, that's it for my review. Thank you so much.